All right. Is everybody ready?
Dude, I'm ready with a capital R.
Yep, I'm
Perfect.
gonna bring us live.
Sweet. All right.
I'm ready.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. So, this will effectively be session 2 of Paranormal Investigations, which is the ongoing campaign with Call of Cthulhu. Um, During our last session, the investigators were dealing with the repercussions of their encounter with the Jinn. They had 2 dead bodies that they ultimately decided to kind of bundle up into the back of the vehicles and take back to PICA. This was in the dead of the night, so it was 1 a.m. whenever they kind of made a decision to pack up and head back to the organization. So it was kind of a sketchy ass drive for about 2 hours from Ross's Corners back into Arkham.
Yeah, Morietti almost drove off the goddamn road.
Uh, but you guys were luckily able to make it back. And then you kind of found out that Pika's always prepared for these types of things. They had a morgue to take the bodies down to. The following morning, you met with Reginald, who then started to piece together your guys' cover-up story of what happened to the individuals that had been killed due to the Jinn. Um,
That was one of my favorite parts. That was cool. Diabolical at worst.
uh, After that, you guys took a little bit of a break. Or sorry, before that, he had introduced you to Carmilla, who had just joined the party. Due to her connections, he felt that it would be great to have her, as well as her skills as kind of like the muscle for the party. She was a little bit upset, but you guys needed to take a little bit of break to regain your sanity. So you guys used this developmental phase to work on some different skills, uh, to regain your sanity, to kind of use your key connections to kind of ground yourself back to reality and work on your professions. So Gillis actually helped Archibald through some of his stuff to help him regain his sanity. Uh, Violet's using the events from the most recent encounter had started working on a novel and had increased her credit rating. Uh, Carmilla um, serving as some muscle for her organization had actually got some increase to her credit rating as well. Um, After
Wow.
this 1 month period, you guys kind of came back where Gillis informed you that he had finally translated the markings on the inside of the sarcophagus, which was kind of ominous because they essentially said that the 4 ambers that were in the sarcophagus were kind of like they're precursors to some larger entity. Um, and it was really concerning because while you guys had successfully banished one of them, there's 3 other that are unaccounted for. So he was going to work on setting up a
God damn it, dude.
a meeting with Mary and Allen's uncle, who lived in Boston. Uh, he said it was going to take some time, and he had also got a call from Violet's cousins, specifically Thomas Kimball, who lives out in Arnoldesburg, Michigan. There had recently been a break in, which was a little abnormal because there was no signs of a break in. He just knew that there was books from Douglas Kimball's library that were missing. Uh, Douglas Kimball had been the cousin that had been the biggest proponent for Violet becoming an author, because of his desire to read. He had kind of told her that yes, becoming an author was going to be a great thing, and whenever everybody else in the family was kind of telling her that it's not the most highest paying profession, he was the one that kind of kept pushing her along and achieving the success that she's had as an author. Due to this, she wanted to go out and see what was going on, and the rest of the investigators had decided to join. This took about 2 weeks on the road for them to get out that way. Upon arriving, just like Thomas had kind of described, it was really weird. Nothing else in the house was messed with. When they went to the study where all of Douglas's books were kept, everything looked pretty orderly. Or I say orderly. The books were well kept. There were some piles. He just had too many books for the bookshelves. But there was clearly missing portions on the bookcases where several books had been removed. Um, Thomas seemed to believe about 6 or 7, but there was no sign of a break in. Uh, Using his keen eye, Gillis was able to pick out that there is a journal amongst these, and whenever they started comparing dates, they had realized the last entry was just a couple days before Douglas had gone missing, which is how Thomas had acquired this house. Um, it essentially had read that he had come to a decision and that he was going to go with his friends below. Uh, as he started flipping through further and further back, they kind of got some notes about some underground tunnels in the cemetery and just some friends that were out there as well. So it was very vague, but they started to get a little concerned. Gillis got a little shaky. They had just come off of defeating the Jin and was hoping for something easy where it was just finding a burglar of some books. And now it looked like there might be more to the story than what they had bargained for. Carmilla was constantly giving him a hard time because being the muscle of the group, these sort of scaredy cat and like bookish tendencies of Gillis were starting to kind of get on her nerves. But nevertheless, the investigators had went out into the cemetery, which the Kimball house is right up against the cemetery. So there's actually a path from the back door there out into the cemetery. I think it's in the chat if you would like to reference it.
You might need to resend it for Tucker.
So Bentley,
since he just came in.
I'll drop it again. You could kind of get a layout of where the house is in relation to the cemetery. Oh, I dropped it twice. Well, it's
Okay.
But they had went out there. They had actually ran into the groundskeeper. So this cemetery was one of those you could tell had been here for a while. As they started walking out, they could see it was fairly well kept. There's still like some bushes and trees and stuff that are a little bit overgrown. But the headstones and stuff, like it's hard to read who was buried there because of how weathered they were. But as they came up, the groundskeeper Meliodas was tending to stuff. He had originally greeted the party rather well. Whenever they started asking questions, he got a little bit more quiet and defensive. Carmilla started to get a little aggressive.
Snowballed into a
due to this intimidation tactic, he had originally started to leave. She had even flicked her cigarette at the back of his head as he was leaving. It managed to get him to talk at least a little bit, so the party was able to learn out that Douglas was a beloved member of the Arnoldsburg town here, but he loved his books more than kind of anything, so he spent most of his time reading. He would come out and talk to Melodius out in the cemetery, and in fact, there was a specific headstone that he liked to sit on to read, which had kind of weathered out, so it kind of like had a perfect spot to sit. After this, they had kind of spotted that he had a bottle in his pocket, and Violet was able to ascertain with no doubt in her mind that this was alcohol, which during this time period is very illegal because it's in the heart of Prohibition. Finding this information, Archibald had made an attempt to kind of bribe Melodius into giving them additional details on what he knows about the going-ons in the cemetery.
I'd say extort, but sure.
Right. Unfortunately, between the prior intimidation tactics and everything, Melodius was not having it and basically told them to do what they will. He's going to go back to doing his own thing and they could figure it out from there. The party had decided that they had enough information to at least make some progress without further interrogation of Melodius, so they had gone over to the tombstone that had been pointed out to them. As they started looking around this spot that Douglas tended to read from, they had found some very odd footprints. Among the footprints, there was it looked like a human heel, and then it ended in a hoof. And they were all over around this headstone. And they kind of worked their way through the cemetery to a mausoleum. The investigators had decided to follow this, and when they got to the mausoleum, they could see the footprints had kind of ended in front of the door there, and they decided to open it. After working together to push it open, none of them had the foresight to cover their nose or mouth, and the stench and miasma from inside the tomb was so strong that it knocked all of them out.
Oh my god!
So we are picking up from all of the investigators having blacked out during the last session. So starting us off. Oh, has anybody got something? You got something, Carmilla?
Oh, I was just saying dun dun dun. That's it.
All right. Gillis, you wake up in Thomas Kimball's house. In fact, he's standing over you. Oh my God, Gillis. I'm so glad that you're awake. What happened?
I'll try to sit up. Do I feel any sort of like? I'm going to do a self check-in. Do I got a headache? How am I feeling? What
I would assume it's kind of like that. Next day after heavy drinking, sort of feel like maybe a little achy from falling down, but nothing like egregious.
I'll just try to like get up and put my hands in my face and just kind of rub at my temples. Actually, can I just get a glass of water, please?
Of course. When you guys didn't come back after last night, I went out to check the cemetery because that's where you guys had went, and all I found was you.
What time is it?
I mean, it's like 10 o'clock. It took me a little bit to drag you back from the cemetery to here.
I'll do a quick scan of the room. Where is everyone else? Where am I? In the house?
We'll say like the kitchen. He told you he only found you. He doesn't know where any of the other investigators.
Whoa! He only found me?
Yeah.
Sorry. So now the more I go on, the less discombobulated I start to feel, at least enough to like assess the situation. Dear God. It's 10 o'clock. I look out the window and I just see like darkness outside.
10 a.m.
And
you guys passed out at like afternoon, and he went the next morning because you guys never came back and found you.
Okay, shit. All right, that's more time passed than I initially thought. Come with me, and I'll sort of like exit out towards the back, through the study to go towards the cemetery.
Okay.
I'll try to make with haste.
Okay, give me a spot hidden roll.
Oof. Okay, first roll of the night, everybody.
You got this.
Ooh. That might be good. Spot hidden. Hard success with a 15.
So, as you're kind of like heading back out, you don't know what it is. It's if it's sensory overload or what, but the colors just seem subdued. It's almost like as you're looking around you, it's reminiscent of like when you're looking at an old photograph where it's like the hazy sort of feeling going on. There's nothing out of the ordinary that you can pertain. There's just like this vibe, and like what you're visually seeing seems to be off.
Would you say it's kind of like monochromatic?
That's probably the correct word for what I'm envisioning.
Okay. I'm going to assume that I was affected by that grave gas in a way that is not good, and I immediately have the anxiety that like I'll have to be treated for something when we're done with this fucking graveyard bullshit, as I'm like starting to like feel a little bit of panic, I have proved I can add my worth to the team, but just as one member, I am just an old, frail man, and I'm very scared. I'll in my haste, I'll start to slow down when I realize like my senses are being altered in a way that is not regular, and start to proceed with a little bit more caution, but make my way back to where we had initially been knocked out.
Perfect. So Gillis is currently on his way back to the mausoleum. Archibald, you're going to be woken up with Melodious over you, kind of shaking you. I don't know your name, but they took the rest of them down below. I was only able to drag you away in time.
Oh, so this is like last night?
Yeah, it would be late afternoon for Archibald.
Or late afternoon, rather. Sorry.
Is this a new character that we haven't met yet?
This is the Gravekeeper.
Oh shit. Okay. Archibald kind of like he kind of leans up and rubs his forehead a little bit. And he's like, "Man, I haven't felt like this since the Copacabana.
Oh my god.
Where are we?"
We're still in the graveyard. I just dragged you away before they came back up for you.
Dragged me away from where? Who was coming for what?
Give me either a persuade or charm roll, depending on how you want to approach this conversation.
Yeah. Don't forget, he thinks you're an asshole.
Well, more specifically, Carmilla, but
Everyone thinks Carmel's an asshole. She is.
Do something good for me, you bitch. We can't see that number. Oh yeah, no, that's a hard fail on everything. That's a 71.
not necessarily like getting confrontational or anything, but Melodious will be. It's best not to talk about those types of things.
What?
Just consider it good that you and I got away, and we'll leave it at that.
Oh my.
He kind of like grabs him by like the scruff of the shirt and says, "Man,
Oh shit.
you don't understand. My friends are down there. We can't just leave them."
Well, I mean, you're more than welcome to go back. I am not interacting with anything of that nature. You're supposed to leave the dead to the dead.
Archibald like kind of like very slyly fumbles around his jacket. Does he still have his gun on him?
Yeah, as far as you guys are concerned, there's, or at least for the two that have woken up at this boat, you're not missing any of the equipment that you had. You just have periods of time that you are unaccounted for.
Archibald like reaches into his pocket and pulls out his pistol and cocks the hammer back, looks him dead in the eyes, and says, "You're coming with me, see? We're gonna go get everybody out."
Give me an intimidate roll.
Oh boy. I wish you luck.
Come on, yeah, right. Come on, Archibald, do something good for once.
Are you proficient or whatever? Skilled?
No.
Come on.
Nope, that's a fail.
Shit!
I'm not
82.
going anywhere with you. I just told you you are supposed to leave these types of things alone. Be thankful that you got away. If you want to go back, that's your own business, but I'm not messing with that.
That's fine. You can be a coward. But what do you suggest I do? Just leave and forget everyone? Madman.
Whatever happens down there, I will not have a part of it.
Oh.
Archibald's just kind of, he's done with him. He's gonna like push him aside and get up. What does the room look like that I'm in?
You're outside.
No,
You're in the cemetery.
You're outside.
So we're
You're
in the
you're
cemetery.
you're roughly back where when you guys met Melodious. That's roughly where you are. So you would have the trek back to like Douglas's favorite tombstone, and then the walk to the mausoleum. So it's probably about half the cemetery as far as distance, if that's where you're headed.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, dude. Oh boy, indeed.
So Archibald's gonna go back to where we first found the footsteps.
Perfect. As you start heading back to the mausoleum, the main difference from your first trek is it starts to feel hotter. Every little bit that you get closer and closer, it gets warmer. Give me a spot hidden roll.
That is not what it usually gets colder. So that's concerning.
Fuck yeah, 36, beating a 40.
Nice!
As you get into visual distance from the mausoleum, you can see a red glow coming from the entrance. Carmilla.
Oh, fuck.
You're going to wake up out front of the house next to one of the cars. The person waking you up is Pretty Mike. You would know him from your gang.
Oh, I sent you that information, by the way.
Perfect. It's more for if we make it to the Dead Man Stomp, but we'll get there.
Oh, good.
I'm down to play a little late, by the way. Just saying.
What is this? Oh, nope, go ahead.
Carmilla, the boss said you'd be out here. What happened? You were just laying on the ground over by one of the tombs.
What?
Yeah.
Fuck. I just felt like I just got hit with a fucking baseball bat filled with fucking shit. Where the fuck am I?
So you're out front of the Kimball house. The only difference from the last time you were in front of the house is there's now another Model T. You would assume this is the one that Pretty Mike drove out. Other than that, you don't see anybody else. It's just you and Pretty Mike.
Mike, did he just send you?
Yeah, the boss just wanted to check in. Make sure things were going all right.
She's gonna stand up and cock her shotgun. What are you packing, Mike?
Oh, you know the usual. Old lefty and righty.
No.
I've got a revolver if I really need it, but typically
I was hoping for something.
The boss.
Lefty and righty will do.
Yeah, you know how the boss is. He doesn't like us rocking too much firepower unless we know we're getting in a fight.
Well, we're about to get in a fucking fight. Come with me.
Oh shit.
So what are you doing out here, anyways?
Investigating something. And we open up this nasty old crit, and just this gas hit us, and that's the last thing I fucking remember. And you found me here?
Well, like I said, I found you out near the tomb, so I'm assuming that's the door you opened before I dragged you back out here. It felt wrong to leave you out in the cemetery.
Anybody else there?
Nah, it was just you. You're saying you had other people with you? Who was in this party?
Some fucking bookworms and a wise guy.
Oh yeah? They're good at anything?
Particularly, they got the book smarts, but anything else? No, they're probably dead already. Let's go cover the bodies.
Ah!
Whatever you say, Now we're going to shift gears over to Bently.
Oh?
Bently, as you pull up, you were given a vehicle by PICA to kind of come in and check up on the investigators. Reginald has good faith in the group, but since they never phoned back from Thomas's house when they arrived, he had sent you out this way. You'll notice a pretty nice house. It's got a study in the back. As you pull up, there's a Model T parked out front. Um, other than that, this is like the afternoon, late afternoon, evening. Um, there's a light on inside. Um, as you kind of come in and you meet with Thomas Kimball, he'll kind of bring you up to speed on what's been going on with the party. Um, tell you that they had gone out to the cemetery to kind of check on things, but might recommend that you check in with the local neighbors, maybe the police department or anything like that to get any more data on any local burglaries or anything like that.
And Thomas.
Oh shit.
Well, catch me up. There's been a lot of cases I've gotten done here in the last couple of days. Just let me know what's kind of going on here, and I'd be glad to help.
Well, the rest of the members came out here with Violet, my cousin. It should be fairly mundane. I just, I've got this house, and my uncle Douglas, he went missing about a year ago, and I've slowly been moving in. The study is the only thing of his that I really haven't touched, but a bunch of the books went missing in there, and there's no sign of a break-in. So the investigators had found a journal, mentioned something about the cemetery, so they went to look in that. The only other thing I could think of that might help is talking around with some neighbors to see if they've had any break-ins, or maybe going to the police department or the library to look on recent cases or anything like that, but
I understand. Thank you kindly. I guess I'll see myself out, assuming that the other investigators have already kind of looked at the stolen wares, or looked to the area. I'll go talk over to the neighbor's house, and just kind of keep my eye over to the cemetery. And what time of day did you say it was?
it's late afternoon, like early evening. Still light out because this is end of August time frame, so it's still kind of fairly long days. So we'll say probably like 5 or 6 p.m.
Okay. Can you kind of describe the aesthetic of like the driveway, or like kind of looking onward, like from the house?
It's kind of like Midwest style, so it's kind of like that gravel road that's kind of got like the
Gravel dirt road.
yeah,
thing.
so it's got like the in between where the wheels would normally hit. There's like the grass that's grown up. Nothing too crazy. It looks like a normal sort of thing. It's fairly green at the moment because it's end of August, so like it hasn't hit the fall vibe yet. As you're heading to the houses, the Kimball house is a little bit away from everybody else. It's about a 5-minute walk. As you're kind of like knocking door to door, most of the neighbors basically say they haven't seen anything suspicious in the area. If you bring up Thomas at any point, they'll remark that he was a very kind, quiet gentleman. Otherwise, they don't really bring anything up. You will see an elderly lady kind of passing by. Give me either an appearance or a credit rating check.
Let's see.
First roll.
I don't have.
Appearance will be up tie up because it's a characteristic, so it's APP.
Okay, I'll go off a credit rating. It's a little higher.
It's a little higher,
then,
he says.
That's 83, so I fail, I think.
As she kind of looks at you, she kind of like, basically in her mind, you don't look like you've got enough wealth to be worth her time. And she's gonna quickly kind of like walk off.
That'll do, I suppose. Did I hear any word of where the previous investigators were searching prior?
Just the cemetery.
Gotcha. I'll look onward over to the cemetery. Fix my top hat, straighten my curled mustache, and rub my chops.
Oh shit! Chops and a mustache.
I'll step forward and camera pans. You see Bently Truss in the brown formal suit with a what's it called? A
something tie.
A bolo tie.
Bolo tie.
He's got a very fancy watch on his wrist. The suit that he is wearing seems to be quite worn and a little dusty. Upon closer inspection, you can tell from his voice. He played a pretty big role in some of the gold rushes in the West, solving some mysteries involving some of the cave collapses and the paranormal activity going around there. And found my way over here to continue my field of study. And that is Bently Truss.
Wow.
I'll make my way over to the cemetery.
Perfect. Gilus, as you continue making your way over to the mausoleum, you'll kind of notice Thomas kind of fidgeting a little bit. Give me a psychology check.
I was just about to say, does this motherfucker know what the hell's going on here? Psychology, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that shouldn't be too difficult. Oh my god. It might... I can't believe myself. I passed with a 73.
Oh, perfect. What you'll notice is that Thomas is sweating pretty heavily and his eyes keep darting around a lot up at the sky. Give me a spot hidden check.
Okay. I rolled 69. Nice. However, that is a fail.
You're assuming that he's getting a little fidgety because you're amped up. He found you just laying out in the cemetery by yourself after being missing for an entire night. So you're kind of chalking it up to maybe he's just as terrified as I am. As you get up to the mausoleum, there's no one around. The door is now open, and you can see that there is a kind of a... The tomb has been worn smooth by age and weather. Oh, sorry. Wrong section here. As you kind of look in here, you can see there's a tunnel that goes down into a dark sort of maze. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry about that. I'm not going to even cross the threshold. So I'll just kind of be peering down. As this might be dumb, but doing this out of a pure expression of caution, I'm just going to not scream, but give out a loud yell and say, "Hello!" And I'll just wait and listen for 5 beats, you know?
As you listen, there's no discernible response aside from the echo of your own voice reverberating off the walls.
Oh, fuck. I look over at, what was his name again?
Thomas.
Thomas. Thomas. I don't know what I'm about to get myself into, But are you sure you haven't seen any of the other detectives?
No, it was just you. The way you're
Fuck.
talking and everything is getting me a little bit more amped up than I already was. Maybe we should head back and get some more people. Maybe the police.
No, this is not something the police are capable of dealing with like we can. What time is it again?
For
In the
you,
timeline for me? Yeah.
we'll say it's about like 11 o'clock between getting caught up from Thomas and working your way back out to the mausoleum. 11
Oh shit.
a.m.
AM or PM?
a.m.
So Archibald isn't even up yet. Oh, fuck me, dude. Fuck me. Okay, the thing is, I have no reason to believe that anyone else made it out except for me. I look over at Thomas, and I just look at him dead in the eye. I am just as terrified as you. I just want to say this. We may be putting our lives at risk. But if we don't at least try, lives to be lost. And the thing is, our margin of success may hinder on our numbers. So, no pressure. If you want to leave, you can. But if you want to go with me, and I gesture towards the entrance.
Well, I mean, I'll at least try, but this, you know what? Let's just see how it goes.
Okay. I pull out a flashlight from my pack, and I'll also pull out my small mirror just in case if I need it. I don't know. And I will give Thomas my knife.
Okay. As you enter down into the tunnels, you'll see that it's
Fuck.
like a crisscrossing maze of earthen
Can
passages.
I touch wall to wall?
Yeah, it's not like super wide. You can tell that it's like it appears to be like dug out.
Sure.
It's kind of terrifying. Like you have the flashlight, but it's still dark because the only thing providing any sort of light is your flashlight. Give
And
me
you
a
just see that
yeah.
I'm like shaking.
Give me a navigate roll.
Navigate?
Yes.
Oh my god. What the fuck? Let me see. It's probably a fail here. Oh boy. I needed to roll 10%. I rolled a 65.
As you keep trying to like push your way through the tunnels, you start getting more frantic and frantic. You don't even know which way you came from at this point.
No!
And you start to separate from Thomas, unfortunately. So at this point,
Are you fucking kidding me?
You don't know where Thomas is. You're by yourself.
The second I realize I'm not with Thomas, I stop.
Okay. Give me another navigate roll.
No, dude! No! That's a fail with 32.
Oh man.
Whether it be by luck, you stop there and you sit there and contemplate your life decisions. And we'll say you end up sit there for about 20 or 30 minutes, kind of like psyching yourself back up to kind of like continue on, because there's nowhere to go at this point except either forward or backwards.
Oh boy. Can you give me 1 second?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. My dogs are fucking losing their minds.
Just losing my mind. Losing my mind. No, no one. All right.
What was that?
That's the
What?
that's the cemetery ambience music I got going.
Actually, I can't even hear it this whole
Yeah,
time.
all of a sudden, this like, and because of like my headphones, like I heard this growl from like right here, and it just moved all the way through. And I'm like, what the?
I have it set
Sorry
pretty
about
low
that.
so that you guys can adjust based off of your preference, but
I got you guys 200, and I can't hear it.
I can turn it up a little bit, but I think that might blare
Uh,
it for.
You should be able to turn it up yourself.
I'm at 200%, and I can't even hear. Can you guys hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very low
definitely-
ambience.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be the reason why.
Okay.
Like the
Yeah,
church
voices.
bells going right now.
Yeah.
Don't hear them. It's okay though.
Whichever
so I
direction
think-
you end up choosing, you keep wandering through, and
I just want to clarify. Not that I think it will ultimately matter, but going forward, if there's ever an option where the path diverts, I'm always going to pick right until I can't pick right anymore.
duly noted.
Right is always right.
Well, that's how you get out of mazes. You always pick the same direction. As you come around one of the corners, you'll see Thomas in a corner, whimpering. As you approach him, you'll start to shift.
Thomas?
Bones
Tom?
cracking,
Oh
patches
my-
of fur appearing on whatever open skin he has, and his overall mass
I just-
increasing.
I just start like you know, like they do in the horror movies, just start backing up, almost tripping over myself.
Thomas will turn to face you with a snarling reveal.
Oh my!
And you'll see like a
God!
snout-like face and elongating teeth changing. Give me a sanity roll.
Okay.
Dun, dun.
That's a succeed.
Perfect. You'll take 1 sanity damage,
Okay.
and Thomas will start chasing after you.
Oh my God, dude! Are you fucking kidding me?
Archibald,
Oh shit!
Yes.
you have now arrived up at the mausoleum. Like I said earlier, there's a red glow coming from the tunnels.
Oh fuck! There wasn't a
Am I-
red glow when I went in.
Am I outside the mausoleum still?
Yeah, we'll say wherever you feel like you would be at this point. You're at the mausoleum. Whether or not you've gone in is up to you. You can see there's a tunnel at the
Archibald is-
back, though.
Yeah, Archibald is going to like look around and see if he can find a stick, and then chuck it towards like the red glowing aura to see if it damages the stick or not.
Okay.
Check to see if the lasers burn.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I don't think a roll makes sense here. We'll just go with you throw the stick. You hear it clack down like the tunnel, but there's nothing that happens to the stick. It's not
He's
like a
gonna
red
look-
glow like a field or anything like that. It's almost reminiscent of like a fire burning sort of glow.
Is there a rat nearby?
Sure. Like the normal cemetery, like skittering of like rats in the mausoleum. Outside of the red glow, there's nothing abnormal about the mausoleum.
Well, and the tunnel that goes out,
Oh, right, yeah.
out back behind it.
Right. He's gonna scoop up a rat and throw it at the mausoleum.
Jesus Christ.
Aside
throw
from
stick didn't work, now throw rat.
aside from the squealing of the rat as you're like picking it up and throwing it, there's nothing abnormal. In fact, the rat hits the ground and then runs into the tunnel.
Archibald, he sighs, and he starts to head into the mausoleum.
Oh, fuck.
Very like James Bondy, like.
All right, give me a navigate roll.
I don't think James Bond exists yet, right? Did he exist in the 1920s?
It's a pretty old fucking story.
That's why. But is it?
It's
that
not
old.
Sean Connery was the first James Bond. The books are older, but
Oh, okay.
so I don't remember how old Sean Connery is.
Well, he's dead, so.
Or I guess, or how old he would be. I know he was like in his 70s or 80s.
Some would assume he's probably a skeleton at this point. He's skeleton.
Yeah, I think the oldest version of James Bond kind of takes place in the 40s, but that's just kind of the style he's going for is that he's being very So you said navigate, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm bad at that. For a private investigator, I'm bad at a lot of things. That's a fail.
Okay. Kind of like what I described for Gillis is the tunnels down here, they're crisscrossing. You kind of just go back and forth. Eventually, you start to kind of maybe this wasn't a great decision. You're not sure where you're at. You know you're underground, you're under the cemetery, but where in the cemetery, you're not sure. As you kind of come around one of the corners here, you'll see kind of a larger opening. You'll see a circle of red creatures with hooves for feet. They've got long tails that end in kind of like a fork. There's little wings on their backs, and there's
You're talking like devils?
A ritual sort of in the center that they're dancing around and chanting in Latin. Give me is there a history? Or just give me an intelligence roll.
I swear to God, Archibald, this is one that you have a high stat in. Fuck yeah, that's a pass with a 23.
Perfect. As you kind of are staring in here, we'll do a sanity roll here in just a sec. You'll recognize this, well, because you just saw these entities. I should have done it first, but you'll recognize the ritual is almost exactly the exact opposite. You guys had done the de-summoning ritual. This is what the summoning ritual looked like.
Oh, fuck!
Give me a sanity roll.
Holy shit!
Dun dun.
What?
My sanity is currently at 32.
Oh, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, gods.
Oh.
No. Don't do that.
What'd you roll?
Don't do
57.
that.
You're only taking one sanity damage.
Okay, cool.
I rolled low on mine, so as you continue looking, you won't see any of your fellow investigators, but you will notice that a swirling vortex is forming in the center of the ritual circle.
Are you fucking kidding me? Are you serious right now, Don?
Would you like to stay and watch the rest of this, or would you like to get the hell out of Dodge?
Oh my god, dude. Are you kidding me right now? You're having this happen right now?
God damn it.
What are you gonna do?
Archibald, being the dumb, curious fuck that he is, and more afraid that he's gonna lose himself trying to go back, he's gonna stay and watch.
Okay.
Oh fuck.
Give me a stealth roll.
Gun in hand, just wide-eyed. I swear to God.
Is there anything to hide behind? Is there any cover?
There's some stuff off to the side, and kind of he could use the entrance of the tunnel because he kind of turned a corner. As a
gotcha.
These guys are grounded. That's a fail.
No.
You're like that person who sees your death is coming towards you, but you just stand there.
Run!
Shoot!
a couple of the demons happen to hear you shuffling to kind of get into a better position. They'll quickly come over and grab you and tie you up. They're going to leave you, and you're going to still watch the rest of this ritual, just not on your
Oh
turn.
my god!
The whole time they're tying him up, he's like, let me go, see? I'll fuck you up. You let me. I'm gonna get out of here. God damn it.
Oh my god, dude.
There's no response from them. They kind of just look at you creepily as they proceed.
Oh
and then
my
they go
god.
back to the circle
Oh.
chanting in Latin. Carmilla, as you're making your way back to the mausoleum, Pretty Mike is still kind of pestering you with questions about the investigators. So, Carmilla, you got any more particulars on like what we should be worried about these investigators? Like, is there anything that we like dirt we got on them?
I don't got any dirt per se. Maybe the organization does, and maybe we can pay them off if we need any of it. But what I will tell you, Mike, do you remember that incident that happened between me and a few of our men when we were doing that hit? And no one really talks about it. Only a few of us walked out from both families.
Yeah, I know the one.
Yeah. We might be dealing with some shit like that one. I'm going to tell you. It is some fucking movie horror level shit. Save a bullet for yourself. That's all I'm going to say.
Damn. Yeah, seriously though.
Save a bullet for yourself. What a line.
Yeah, I got you, Carmilla. Give me a spot hidden roll.
First roll.
Okay. Oh, sheet. Well, I have it pulled up. Let me get to the tab. Spot hidden, you said?
Mm-hmm.
23, and my percentage is 25.
Perfect. As
Ooh, close.
Almost, if right on cue, with you mentioning that you might be getting into something, you can start seeing some shadowy figures coming up, dozens of them, kind of encircling both you and Pretty Mike. As they get closer,
Oh, fuck.
you see these. They're kind of like grayish sort of entities. They also have these sort of like hoof-like feet that go up. There's like mold along their bodies, and they've got snout-like, like almost like a canine sort of face. Beady eyes that's almost all black, and little ears. Give me a sanity roll.
Okay.
Oh my god, what?
That's going to be a 45, and mine's a 25.
You're going to take 6 points of sanity damage.
Shit.
Give me an intelligence roll.
Intelligence. My intelligence is 65, and I got a 26.
Unfortunately, you fully understand what you're looking at. Unable to suppress and like push down what's in front of you, you've gone temporarily insane.
Oh no.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
So what does that mean?
We stay the fuck away from you. That's what that means.
As
she's
on a
to
meta
gun.
level, I, as a keeper, get to do things with your character. What's going to happen in this instance is, due to all these creatures surrounding you and Pretty Mike, there's a brief Mike, we gotta, and then that's the last thing you remember before you wake up at like a hospital bed.
Oh, fuck.
You are now in the Arnoldsburg Sanatorium.
Oh.
If you guys aren't familiar, sanatoriums are like where insane patients get taken to deal with their
Not be
insanity.
insane.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's as you kind of start asking questions with the doctors, they'll tell you that you got brought in a couple days ago. You've been working through your trauma and have just now woken up. They had found you laying out in the cemetery by yourself.
Well, shit. Okay.
Bently, as you start making your way into the cemetery, it's like we said, late afternoon, early evening. Where are you headed? I guess you don't really have a frame of reference. You'll see a gardener kind of tending to some of the headstones. Other than that, nothing kind of sticks out to you at the moment.
Keeper. Gravekeeper?
Yeah. What you got?
Well, I'm new to this scene here, and you ain't seen any folks walking around here, have you?
Are you part of the group that came out here asking a bunch of questions and being a bunch of dicks?
Well, I suppose so. I'm not sure if I've been properly acquainted, but it sounds like the group. I hope that I can provide you with some sort of decentry. My name's Bently.
Well, I already like you a lot more than the rest of the group as he reaches out to shake your hand. What can I do you for?
As I said, friend, I was looking for some folks that may have been walking around these parts.
Well, the last I saw, they were headed over to the tombstone that Douglas Kimball used to sit and read his books at. That was a couple hours ago. I haven't seen them since. They kind of like meandered around there for a little bit, staring at the ground. I think one of them even took a picture of the ground for some fucking reason, and then they started walking deeper into the cemetery. So that might be a good place to start.
I appreciate your assistance. Now, I don't suppose anyone else comes in for a shift after yours if you just started yours.
It's just me. I kind of tend to it during the day, and then I head back to my little abode and wait till the next day to come back out. It's about closing time for me, if I'm being honest. I got some Salisbury
Do you?
steak that I'm gonna throw on when I get back.
Well, that reminds me of home. Now, do you report to Thomas?
Oh no, this is the Arnoldsburg Cemetery. I don't know why they got the house right up against it, but it doesn't belong to them per se. It's the town's, not his specifically.
I see. Well, thank you kindly for the assistance.
All right, good luck. They're a hot mess, or the 1920s equivalent of that.
You cut out.
Oh. Hello. Bentley's trying to make his way over to the mausoleum and specifically looking for disturbances in the ground, like footprints or stuff of the like.
So we'll kind of get you up to speed. So you'll start by heading over to Douglas Kimball's like favorite reading spot, which is it's one tombstone that's kind of been weathered down so he could sit on. If you give me a spot hidden or track roll real quick, whichever one you prefer.
Spot hidden or what?
Track.
Or trap.
Oh. We'll choose a spot hidden.
Perfect.
That is a 63, so I fail.
Okay. On initial glance, you're not seeing anything. Tucker, since you haven't been apart, you do have the option of pushing rolls, which essentially means you roll again. Typically, the downside of failing a push roll depends on the circumstances. So, like in this case, like if you said you spent more time analyzing this tombstone, you could push the roll again. If you succeed, then it's just a normal success. If you fail, in this case, essentially what I would say is instead of being able to like pick up their trail immediately, it takes you like an hour to kind of finally see the tracks that they saw to follow them to the mausoleum.
Considering that Bentley has little to no information, I'd like to push the roll if possible.
Perfect.
Okay, that one is a 28, so I have a 30, so I passed
Perfect.
that, right?
Yep. So after initial glance isn't successful, but you kind of buckle down. You pull out. I think you grabbed a magnifying glass, right?
Yes.
Nice. I have one too.
You kind of whip it out, all detective style, and like you finally see these footprints that start with like a human heel and end a hoof, and you're able to see that they kind of like they've all been kind of like covered up at this point because of the previous investigators walking around the tombstone, but you can see that they lead off into the cemetery. As you're following these, you come across the mausoleum. As you're getting into range of the mausoleum, you will see 4 investigators laying on the ground unconscious.
Oh, wait, what?
I look around, I survey the area a bit, and I pull out my cigar box and light one up and start walking over to the party.
Perfect. Gilus. We just left off with you being chased by Thomas. Are you...
Oh, wait, this is like, after all of that? We just got pooped out at the entrance?
How are you handling this encounter? Are you fighting or are you running?
Is everyone here?
It's just you. You're in the tunnels.
Oh shit, dude, I thought I was outside with the rest of the party. Ah, okay. I have homeboy chasing me?
We left off of him like starting to lunge towards you.
Yeah, I'm beelining, dude. And unfortunately, I gave him my knife, so I have a werewolf with a knife chasing me.
Okay, so we're gonna go.
Extra dangerous.
All right, so we're gonna go into chase rules. So how this works is we're gonna roll dexterity rolls.
Okay.
You need to pass 2 regular or 1 hard. First, so these are a.
Ooh.
Or you need to pass 2 versus Thomas's rolls, essentially. So we're going to compare dexterity rolls.
Oh, no. Okay, here we go.
You got it, Gillis.
I need to roll 25 or lower. Ooh, that's a 91.
So Thomas is quickly closing the gap.
I just like turning over and I just keep running, dude. I just keep running. In fact, I'm gonna just like I don't know, like never mind. I'm gonna wait. Another roll?
Yep.
Oh, God damn it!
Again!
40! I fail!
In this case, none of the distance closed because he got a 81, so he failed as well.
So
you currently are
I see. Oh,
maintaining...
we're battling out that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, give me another one. So you need 2 consecutive.
Okay.
Or he needs 2.
Go.
Or he needs 1 more, or you need 2 consecutive.
Oh my God. That's a 16.
Perfect. So as you're kind of crisscrossing, you're using the crisscrossing nature of the mazes to your advantage because of the hulking sort of figure that's chasing after you. You take a turn that causes him to kind of like hit into the wall that slows him down a little bit. He'll kind of... I told you I would find you. Another roll.
Oh my God! Is this the gin?
Poor Gillis.
Oh no, 72.
While you created a little bit of a gap off of that turn,
No.
he quickly kind of switches to all fours,
No.
kind of digging in and closing in. One more. Or another one.
Oh, okay. 36.
That's a crit fail for Thomas.
Oh
So,
shit.
Whether or not he's getting overzealous or not, he kind of like overleaps at one point and like shoves his face.
I throw my magnifying glass. I just chuck it. You know what I mean? I nail him in the head or something.
Gillis, no matter if you get away, I will always find you.
Oh my god.
Give another roll.
43.
Is that a success for you?
No.
He quickly.
Wait, another dexterity, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of
Uh-oh.
digging in, he pushes himself back up and continues to chase. It seems like you guys are in a stalemate. He kind of starts laughing maniacally. This is just the beginning.
Oh no! I don't want to die!
Archibald. As you as you are tied up and forced to watch this ritual play out, you'll see this swirling vortex that becomes a mass of eyes and maws that seem to be endless and formless. They're kind of just spinning and swirling, and you don't know where it ends or where it begins. Give me a sanity roll.
Okay, we're gonna do these ones because they're pretty. You motherfuckers. It's a fail with an 81.
Okay.
Fuck.
These dice really don't like me.
Fail.
You're going to take 2 sanity damage.
Okay. It puts me down to 29.
Oof.
The entity will then shift into your grandfather, and it'll address you
no.
specifically. Archibald Whitley, I am glad you could join me. I told you and your friends that I would find you.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So wait, this thing is talking to me in the form of my grandfather?
Yes.
Yeah. This is the Jinn from before, dude.
Unlike your mortal selves, I am beyond the bounds of your human comprehension. You and your friends opened a door that is not easily closed. While the mortal plane may be a hurdle for me and my kind, the plane your minds enter when sleeping is significantly more malleable. Even if you are successful in escaping this time, it is only a matter of time before I find you lot again.
Oh
I hope you
God.
remember this even in your most intimate moments. And we're going to pan back to Bently.
He's just crouching down. Oh, who are these guys? Hello? Yo, it's a bit early for night time. Time to wake up. I start slapping a couple of them on the face.
Okay. Violet.
When did the timeline is this, by the way?
We're almost there.
Okay, sorry.
Violet, you'll be the first to rouse. For everybody else, the world that you're currently in, Bentley, nothing changes for you. So Gillis, Archibald, and Carmilla, where you're currently at starts to start to shift. You all hear, oh, you guys gave me so much information for our next encounter. You all wake up outside the mausoleum together.
Holy shit. He's fucking with our minds.
Any sanity or skill rolls that happened are permanent. If you took any damage, I don't think any damage happened, that would reset. But any sanity lost or any skills you passed are valid.
He just Tsukiyomi does.
Yeah.
Did y'all have a bit too much to drink last night? Cemetery's an odd place for that kind of activities.
I just stand up in a flash, you might say, and just we need to get out of here. And I just will start helping Violet up if she hadn't already got up, and everybody else.
Carmilla's gonna get up, just rubbing the back of her head. Who might you be?
Well, it's a bit rude to ask for introductions without introducing yourself. Regardless, my name is Bently.
Name's Carmilla. And, she kind of looks at the door. That gas hit us pretty hard. Did the, organization sent you?
Yes, to be honest, I don't know much about these parts, but yeah, I was sent over here to save your sorry asses, and you're over here sleeping on the job.
You have no idea. You have no idea.
Yeah, Archibald kind of pops up from the bottom of the ground. It's like, oh, trust me, wasn't sleeping, Sonny.
Well, then I think I should need some explanation, because that's what it sure damn looked like to me.
Archibald, like, he gets up and kind of, like, brushes off his coat and walks over to you and sticks out a hand to shake your hand. And if you shake his hand back, like, he shakes it, like, very forcefully, but, like, wildly up and down.
He returns the handshake. That's a proper handshake.
Of course. Archibald Whitley, private investigator. My badge.
You missed it.
What?
My badge part.
Archibald Whitley, private investigator. My badge.
I've got about the same, and I show him my actual badge. Private investigator of the West.
Oh,
Bently
shit.
Truss, nice to meet you.
Oh shit, we got a cowboy investigator.
Archibald kind of eyes you up and down, just like kind of like sizing you up a little bit. Trust me, we weren't sleeping on the job. Last thing I remember, I was watching something crazy. Bunch of horned beasts around a circle. They were, it looks like, doing something that's rather familiar. And I don't think it was good.
Can I, like, do I get any, like, bullshitting vibes?
From Archibald?
Yeah.
Roll a psychology. Which should be easy, because unless you get 100, you're going to pass.
Yeah. Yeah, I got 72. Or 27, rather. Wow, that's, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a hard success? Or
Yeah, that's definitely a hard success. I think that's almost an extreme.
Yeah, it's a hard success. My extreme is 19.
Oh, okay.
As far as you can tell, Archibald is being 100% truthful. You don't know if it's actually what happened or if it's something that only he experienced, but there doesn't appear to be any lies coming out of his mouth at the moment.
Well, I'm sorry for my previous accusations. I just simply showed up here and saw that the case was not solved and you all were sleeping on the ground.
Well, being an investigator, usually a bunch of people without camping tents aren't just sleeping on some fucking dirt now, are we?
You could understand my confusion, miss.
Where are you? You like an independent investigator, or are you with the law?
I like to bounce the boundaries between both. A lot of the cases I've handled are of the paranormal category in the gold mines.
So you believe in ghosts? And he kind of like shoots an eye over at Gillis.
Well, I think some people like to fabricate stories for attention, but there are definitely ghosts out there.
Well, that's what we're dealing with here. But I don't like anything I've ever seen or ever wanted to see.
Which, by the way, I had my own terrifying experience. Whatever, I'm not sure if it was real or not, but I'm almost certain that Thomas is some sort of were creature. He chased me down in those tunnels. But Violet, did you see anything? I don't. Do we need to go back in there? I don't know.
Can I interject real quick? I spoke with Thomas before walking over here not 30 minutes ago.
Camara's gonna look at Bentley and kind of point her thumb to Gillis and goes, "He's a fucking wise guy. Don't pay attention to his shit."
Why I oughta.
Oh, why you oughta what?
I just like pull out my pocket watch and fidget with it.
Right when she sees you, like your hand go for your pocket watch, she's like already had her hand on her shotgun.
Okay, so, alright, everybody calm down here. We've got somebody who was seeing a ritual take place, another person being chased by a werewolf, and what's your story?
Who are you talking to? Just so I know.
To you.
My story? We were opening up the crypt, and I'm guessing some type of gas hit us and caused us to go unconscious.
And you didn't see any weird dreams?
No.
How queer.
How queer.
Some of us aren't as imaginative as others as she looks at Gillis.
I cannot. I just sit quiet in disbelief.
Well, it seems like y'all didn't find out much going down there. I'd suggest going back up if y'all are feeling up to it.
Absolutely. We're here to do a fucking job. We're just gonna take a step towards the crypt and kind of look in.
Was there anybody else with you? Just the four of you?
Thomas was with me. But apparently he wasn't. Guys, the djinn might be down there.
Do I know what a djinn is?
Give me a occult roll.
Occult?
Yeah.
Starts with an O, not an A. I had to learn that twice.
Okay, that's just a 5% chance for me. Yeah, that's a 66. Actually a 96. Christ.
Oh, yeah, crit fail. The term seems familiar, but you have zero reference of anything related to it. The only thing that even like kind of comes to mind is like 101 Arabian Nights, if that existed at this point in time.
Yeah, I was about to say Aladdin won't come out for another 70 years. So.
Well, the Disney animated film, yeah, but like the book it's written on was well before that. Yeah.
Well, I know. I'm just.
But yeah, you have zero context. You know it's some sort of folklore thing, but nothing else.
I've never heard of those from around my parts.
Violet, do you think we should go back down into the tunnels?
And Violet, for context, you got knocked out by the miasma and woke up. There's nothing that's happened in between that for you. So when he keeps referencing going back into the tunnels, you have no frame of reference because you guys never went in the tunnels from your perspective.
Dang. All right, well, Violet's going to look at him. And be like, what do you mean back into the tunnels? We haven't gone in yet.
This is all so confusing. Well, at least we're united. And we're stronger one more. So, Carmela, you might have a point. We have a fucking job to do.
Before we
You sounding like a man. Proud of you.
Before we head in there, I don't want to go in there with a party I don't know. Tell me what you're good at. Tell me what your name is.
Right. Sorry. My look is definitely like a Sigmund Freud type thing. I'll just put it in the chat real quick. I'm kind of taller, a little lankier, definitely like a little uglier than the average type guy. You know what I'm saying? Middle-aged, and my name is Gilus Hornbyll, and I am a professional psychologist.
Pamela Rockefeller. I'm a bruiser. I handle the tough work that people aren't here to do.
And what about you? Violet, you said your name was?
That is correct.
What are you good at? What do you do? What do you contribute to the group?
I keep record of everything that happens because I am an author, as I write in my book.
All right. As I said before, my name is Bently Truss. Private investigator, specialized in psychology to help the sick of the mind.
We are birds of a feather or something. Isn't that how it is?
Most of my experiences gained from in the field. Didn't continue much schooling over there. Didn't seem worth the while.
Oh, and I finished tucking my shirt in as I kind of poshly sort of like highbrow you.
But quite handy with a gun. I flashed up my .45 revolver.
She, Carmilla also shows off her, kind of flashes her, what was it? What was the gun?
You had a sawed-off shotgun and like the 1920s version of a Magnum.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And she goes, good. Someone I can actually count on. She's gonna cock the shotgun and go, now we are gonna do our each other's fucking nails, or are we gonna go in? And she just walks in.
Hey, Clarissa, can you change your name in the Discord so I can have an easier time with it?
Yes, I will. I thought I did that a long time ago.
I think you did, and then it re-defaulted or something. But, Carbilla, before you go in, out of like the corner there, let me save you guys some time.
What?
Coming out of the mausoleum, Carmilla, this will look sort of familiar. It's kind of like an in-between sort of stage. It's this gray, sort of leathery figure. It's got hooved feet, but there's still like the human heel there. It's got the canine sort of snouts going on. Violet, as you look at this entity, you'll realize this looks an awful lot like Douglas Kimball. Everybody give me a sanity roll.
Oh, fuck!
Walk me through this.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So you're going to roll D100 and compare it to your current sanity.
Current sanity, okay.
I passed with an extreme.
Ooh.
I passed with a 27.
Perfect.
I passed with a 20.
Cool.
Okay.
Holy shit! I passed the 25.
Nice.
I failed with a 100.
Wait.
Oh.
Okay. Carbilla, did you Oh, wait, no, you got the bonus from sanity. Remember, it's always whatever your current sanity is. So if you've lost sanity, it will always be lower than your starting. If
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I don't know if that changes because I know several people got sanity boosts when we did our last developmental phase, but everybody also took a bunch of sanity damage in their.
No, I failed because I have a 19 then.
Okay. Uh,
I can't believe I crit failed with the 100, dude. What a fucking time to roll a 100.
you guys, for my two folks that failed, you're gonna take 3 sanity damage.
Oh,
Okay.
Christ.
Wait, can you repeat that?
If you failed, 3 sanity damage. If you pass, no damage.
Awesome.
Now, are we about to do like combat, or?
So far, he's only talked to you guys. So unless something happens, there shouldn't necessarily be combat.
Wait, who talked to us?
This
Douglas
creature
Kimball.
that Violet recognizes as her cousin, Douglas Kimball.
The one who we're looking for.
Oh. Well, Kamira's gonna put her, basically lay her shotgun on her left forearm and aim at the creature.
Well, that's a little bit more hostile than I was hoping for. Hi, Violet. I know this is a little bit different, but I assume you guys are looking for some books.
You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?
Well, that's what I'm getting at. The books are mine, so not really stolen because they were already mine. You see, I like to read, and being a human was inconvenient for reading to the most maximum extent. The the mundane existence of being a human is just so much. I just got tired of the same over and over, talk to people, interact. I just want to read. So when I realized the ghouls here are relatively friendly, I decided that maybe joining them wouldn't be so bad. In fact, my life's been pretty great since then. I don't need money. I don't have to dress for dinner. I don't have to meet with anybody except for
What's
meal
for dinner?
times. Sorry, what?
She kind of like when he said, "I don't have to dress for dinner," and she goes, "Yeah. Well, what do you usually have for dinner?"
Grubs, other small animals, whatever we can
Not
get.
children.
Well, how many children come into the cemetery in the middle of the night?
Doesn't matter. Would you eat one?
I mean, I wouldn't. Anyways, I can read whatever I want, day or night, but the pack's kind of moving on. We're getting ready to close this entrance and kind of just leave. And I needed some more books, so I went and grabbed some. I was actually on my way to go grab some more because we're closing it up tonight.
If you don't mind me asking, after I finally catch my breath from his vicious sight, a visage, I'm just why have you just been missing? Why the mystery? I get you're a monster now, but what is this all for?
He kind of cocks his head, trying to catch your meaning. I'm not sure what you're getting at. The how many normal people would accept that this is a reality? Gillis, you guys work for an organization that And the reason why he knows your name, is he was kind of in the mausoleum waiting for an opportunity to interject. So he's kind of been listening
Sure.
to you guys talk for a while. You guys know that these things exist, and even you have trouble with fully comprehending what they are. What do you think that would do to the general population? In fact, the whole reason why we're having this conversation instead of me just going and getting the books and leaving is I want you to stop searching for me. Don't tell my nephew anything. Just say that you stuck out the house, you've found the culprit, and you've ran them off. It will appease what he's after, and I get my books and we both move on.
I see what you're going with here. I understand the general monotony of dealing with people, and honestly, I can understand where you're coming from. But it seems a bit short-sighted for an intellectual fellow such as yourself. If books were so important to you, why didn't you leave yourself a will? Or have books buried? Or something, so you didn't have to disturb the peace, if truly being alone was all that you desired.
Well, to be honest, I didn't think my nephew was going to move into the house before we had moved on. So, yes, you could say short-sighted, but I only need a handful. I'm going to start writing my own books about the underworld that the ghouls live in.
I'm gonna whisper over to Archibald in this moment while they're talking. I'm just gonna tell him, it might be a good idea to maybe have this guy be an informant. Maybe we can strike some sort of deal and have a foot in the door with this gin business.
And he kind of whispers back, "No, I agree. I like your thinking, Gillis. Why don't you go ahead and see if you can persuade him?"
Oh, no, not me, you. You're the detective. I'm a bumbling mess right now. Look at me, I'm sweating.
How loud are they being as they're talking?
At that point, probably loud enough for you to hear what I'm saying, because I'm reacting.
Chimera's gonna kind of look at them and look at the creature. What if we bring you books? You give us little bits of information.
Well,
Put the gun down.
here's the thing: is I don't think you fully listened to what I just said. We're sealing this entrance and never returning, so I'm not sure how you're bringing me books, because I have no intention of coming back to the surface after this.
Well, I think what she's trying to say, we can go get the books that you desire right now so you don't cause more fuss, and in return you tell us some information that you might have.
She aims her thumb at him and just like nods.
I can give you what information I have, but all I know is the ghouls that, for the most part, are fairly solitary pack creatures.
You ain't heard nothing about a djinn being around here?
The fuck's a djinn?
That's what I said.
A wonderful drink.
Oh my god.
Chimera nods to both of their comments.
But we have your solemn promise that this will be sealed and you won't be disturbing any of the townsfolk?
No. I mean, I've been missing for a year, and so far I've stolen, 6 or 7 books?
I have a request.
You want to
Would
join
you
me?
mind? No. Gods, no. I just reach for my camera in my pack. Would you mind?
I mean, I'm assuming as long as you're not showing it to the general public or using it to tell Thomas. That's Violet. Please make sure that we leave Thomas out of this. Just tell him that you've got rid of the problem.
That's fine. And I'm gonna. I'll ask Carmela to kind of stand a little bit closer if she is comfortable to get like a reference of size.
Mm-hmm.
She does, but she does keep like her shotgun on her forearm in a more resting position, not feeling too easy being next to this creature or abomination.
Cool. Gillis, give me
And
a photography check,
Perfect.
and then we'll go through what it looks like and everything. Sorry, I interrupted.
That's fine. That's going to be a 17.
Oh, nice. What is that? Just regular success?
Just a regular success.
Yeah. As you kind of line this up, your time training the last month before heading out to Michigan here, you got the. It's getting a little dark, but you're able to get the proper lighting to kind of get a good representation. It's angled correctly so you can see the size disparity. Violet, as you're kind of watching this happen, what you remember of Douglas, there's a significant size difference from what you remember of him, like a solid like 1.5 feet taller than what you remember. A Like I said, it's like a leathery gray skin that's got mold, but it is very muscular, which is a little abnormal for your bookworm cousin Douglas.
You got the Captain America treatment, it looks like.
Dorito back.
Is there anything else you guys are wanting to ask Douglas before getting books?
As strange as this evening has come to be, I think I don't have any questions that he won't be able to answer.
All right, so we'll say at least someone from the party, and you could pipe up if you want to be the one that does it, goes. He'll kind of like give you a list of the books that he prefers to get. There's about 10 or so of them. And you go get them, you bring them back. I much appreciate your guys' assistance. You're more than welcome to come down. The ghouls seem very open, but it is a one-way trip. You're not coming back because we're going to seal the entrance.
I appreciate the hospitality, but I'll pass.
Yes. Also, should we tell Thomas that you died and we found you dead, or what?
I think we're at over a year at this point, so I don't think there's anything else needed.
I think. Is there anything specific you want us to relay?
Like I said, they've already accepted that I've gone missing. They did their due diligence. They couldn't find me, and we'll leave it at that. As far as the burglaries, I would say you found the burglar and you scared them off. It's mostly true.
Good enough for me. Boats were destroyed in the carnage. Found the burglar. It's been taken care of.
Great. I'll put my monocle on and sort of like readjust it. And I say, well, here's to never, ever seeing each other ever again. I bid you adieu, and I give a very generous bow and promptly turn my tuchus around and march back towards the house.
As you guys are turning to leave, you'll see him kind of like getting the books together. He'll set them down in the entrance to the mausoleum, and then by himself will roll the rock back in front of the mausoleum, sealing it.
What? Aren't we gonna give him books?
You already did.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. Just
we kind of fast forwarded a little bit.
Roger Dodger.
Everybody is going to take 1 sanity damage.
Damn.
From just between the conversation and just knowing the truth of what's happened. It's an unpleasant truth, but it is the truth. On the bright side, you can all add 3% to your Cthulhu Mythos score.
Oh, cool.
On our way back, Carmela's basically gonna say we should have shot it and killed the ghouls.
Well, that seemed peaceful enough. Whatever y'all experienced down there must have been something else. I don't think we should have disturbed the peace.
We'll see. Well, next time we gotta come out here.
Don, what were we adding?
Add 3 to your Cthulhu Mythos.
It's on the first row, like third of the way down.
Okay, so
it should be like 3% now.
For you,
zero.
yeah.
But Violet, I think, is the one with the most,
yeah,
right?
I think she's up to like 5.
Yeah, I'm at 5.
Damn.
Yeah, so Tucker, for reference, the only way to increase your Cthulhu Mythos is to read tomes on like the Cthulhu world or to encounter it real world. There's no other way to increase that one.
I see. Okay.
The downside is it affects your sanity. So your sanity can never go. The highest you can have it is 99 minus whatever your Cthulhu Mythos score is.
Oh, so the more mythos you have, the more insane you become.
Yep.
Or more likely you are to become insane.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right, so you guys are walking back to the house.
Yes.
This is your opportunity to decide how you want to actually tell Thomas what's going on. And then it'll kind of be the wrap-up of Paper Chase.
Well, to be honest, I think we should have Violet have the heaviest amount of word here, because this is her family, after all. Violet, how should we break it to him, and what should we say?
Violet's gonna look up from her notebook again, because she was jotting everything down that, we heard from Douglas while we were over there. She looks up and be like, well, we could always just tell them that we didn't find anything over there just because, they already assume that he is gone. So why tell him anything different?
I'll agree with what you want to say, considering this is your family. Douglas did say that want us to fabricate a story of finding the criminal. I feel like that there's a lot of holes that could be poked on both sides. That all depends on what you want to say.
No, I don't think we need to tell him really anything. Just that way we could just say we didn't find anything.
Feign incompetence? I think that's the most logical story.
Camille lights a cigarette and nods. Ain't my problem.
I'll nod as well, and I'll light up a cigar.
Oh!
She'll hand you, she looks at you, go, you got how much for one of those cigars of yours?
I roll my own. You just take one.
She gives you a nod of respect as she gently puts out her cigarette so she doesn't waste it before she takes one.
I will also join the cigar club, because not only are you a fellow psychologist, but you are a psychologist with good taste. And I'll pull out a cigar as well. And Violet, as I get the cigar going, I'm gonna go up front and start warming up the old Model T. So I'm goddamn, I'm going a little southern on accident. So I'll be ready whenever you are, and I'll just go to the front and do just that.
For reference, it's 8 p.m. At the moment. And Thomas has set up rooms, so if you guys would like to stay overnight, you're more than welcome to.
Oh, okay. Okay.
In fact,
right.
You can spend a couple day here. It is Violet's family. We'll essentially, once we wrap up everything with Thomas, we'll go into another developmental phase. So you guys can spend however much time here as you want before you have to leave. Or not have to, choose to leave, but
Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, maybe like take a day or two for having a bad trip.
Camilla.
So after you kind of fill in Thomas, he'll thank you guys for your work. He'll give you $10 to split between the 5 of you, so $2 each. As far as other bonuses, Carmilla, you're gonna get 5 points in Cthulhu Mythos because you went temporarily insane with your encounter with the dozens of ghouls.
Nice, dude.
All of you can roll a d6 and add that to your sanity because while it was an unpleasant truth, you all now have the knowledge that there's at least one ghoul that is not planning to come back. Thus, you know Thomas Kimball can sleep soundly.
Wait, so add to the sanity? Like...
Yep.
Yes. So your overall sanity can increase.
Okay, so... Alright.
You can go higher than you're starting.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I only rolled a fucking 1.
I rolled a 6, so that puts me at 40.
Getting up there.
So do I increase my overall or what my current is? That's what I thought.
Yeah, starting never changes. Current will vary based off of whether or not you get impacted or you recover during a developmental phase.
Right.
How close are we from a town from Violet's family's house?
5-minute walk into Arnoldsburg.
Yeah, was there like a motel or something like that? Because to be honest, I don't know if I really want to.
Yeah, they would have like a standard inn, the Arnoldsburg Inn.
Yeah, Camilla would go there too then.
Yeah, if anyone else wants to join me, we'll be leaving.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, Camilla will join.
Perfect. Yeah, it's like your standard Midwestern style inn. As far as like for you, Gillis and Carmilla, do your time up in like New York and everything, it's a little less. It's the nicest one in town, but you would consider it like a 3-star compared to what you're used to in New York.
Right.
That's fair.
I'll just pay for like maybe two nights, 3 nights.
I'll do 3 nights.
Oh yeah, I'll pay for 3 then.
And I'm gonna find the nearest. Hopefully, there's a steak restaurant or something.
Steak is definitely one of the ones to come by there in Michigan.
That I think honestly, the 20s is like when like beef production really started getting hot in America.
Oh yeah, then she's gonna find herself a steak restaurant after all this shit.
So we all got $10 to split, or $10 each.
$10 to split.
All got $2. So $2.
Okay.
Which is pretty hefty for 1920s.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anywhere specific to put that on the sheet?
You could throw it in assets. Ultimately, and we'll cover this probably next session at the beginning of like getting this all cleaned up. Call of Cthulhu doesn't get into the particulars of you guys like spending. There's a value that's called like your daily spending or on hand, your assets, and like your overall wealth.
Basically if you.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
The on hand is like how much you could spend every single day without breaking the bank. Your assets are like actual physical things you own. So like Gillis has a Model T vehicle that's in there, and your wealth is the combination of like your overall monetary value and your assets. It's based off your credit rating, and because we didn't get into the particulars of credit rating until I updated the core rules, I haven't hit on it because PICA pretty much covers most of the things that you guys would need for investigating.
Gotcha.
Basically,
Sorry.
you don't need to worry about spending money.
All right.
Unless you're asking me for like something crazy, like I want to own a boat. That a little bit of a stretch unless you got like a credit rating of like 80 or 90.
Okay. So I guess I'll also just stay at the same inn. I didn't have any attachment to Thomas. And And then I'll probably just go head over to a nearby pub or anything for a swarry or something. Just a nice little party.
Give me
Some gambling.
What's the one I'm thinking here? Because prohibition's in full swing, finding those types of things are a little bit harder to come by. Give me a spot hidden to see if you can locate a speakeasy in Arnoldsburg.
I mean, Carmela's got a flask.
That's a 36. I won't be asking anybody in particular. Although yes, it is prohibition. Most people out in the West, it's not. If you're going to complain about drinking, you just, you'll get shot. So, but then I'll go over to Carmela. What do you all do for fun around here?
You'd probably find her at the steak restaurant as she's just like chewing on a steak. She'd be like, "What kind of fun you looking for?"
Well, honestly, just looking for some gambling and a nice whiskey on ice.
You know what? You just keep sounding like my type of people every time you speak. So kind of open up her vest. Because she's wearing a button up with suspenders with a vest over it. And she kind of opens up and shows a flask. I mean, I do got some cards. I can take this to my room and see who's luckier.
I might hit you up on that. I do want to know a little bit more about you, though. You said you're taking a particular interest in me, but I don't know anything about you, Carmela.
She kind of stretches her back as her foot pushes the chair out from from in front of her. She's like, "Order yourself a steak and ask you questions. I'll see if I'll answer them for you or not."
Okay, I'll take a seat and wave down the waiter.
What can I get you?
Give me a ribeye rare. Salt and pepper only.
Oh.
Of course you will understand a certain way.
That's how we like it out here in the Midwest. You want some of the some blue cheese with that too, or
Well, I guess so.
Alrighty. What would you like for your sides there? We got mashed potatoes, some green beans, carrots.
I'll just... Whatever you recommend, I'll be happy with.
Alrighty, we'll get you a side of mashed potatoes with that, a little bit of gravy, and you seem like the type of fellow that appreciate some fried mushrooms as well.
Upsell.
And
I'm fine.
Oh, sorry.
I'm fine with just that.
Perfect. And for you, miss?
Can I get a ribeye medium rare, some of that blue cheese, and a baked potato with some cheese?
Easy enough. Do you want blue cheese on that baked potato as well, or some of the Wisconsin cheddar that we bring in?
And she kind of like cracks her neck. I'll take some of that Wisconsin cheese.
Perfect. And you'll see him kind of walk back. Order up.
There's some backstory on me, Carmela. There's a couple of reasons why I'm not in the West anymore. I was taking some general practice, trying to resolve what causes mental illness and sickness of the mind. Some practices of Eastern medicine came over of lobotomies taking care of mental illness, and I saw what that did to the mind and the soul. And after all the catastrophes in the coal mines, thought a new place for my occupation ought to do me best.
So you're looking to What was that word you used? Lobotomize?
That's around what it's called. Just imagine the worst thing possible to fix your brain. And there you go.
I think if I was ever in that situation, put a bullet in my head.
That's about what I said.
Glad we can agree. Some information about me, I guess. Grew up in New York. Hung around some tough crowds. Made a bit of a name for myself. Was working on a job. And me and my associates got introduced to some of these horrors. And only me and a few of my friends and only a few of their friends made it out of that night.
My condolences.
They went out.
It always seems like people of our kind make it to this line of work, and for good reason. I don't think it's for the soft of heart.
No, they can't handle it. They can't. They don't know what it's like to protect what's yours, and to deal with the things that no one else is willing to deal with. Why they're sheep.
Well, sometimes sheep, sometimes like cattle to the slaughter. Sometimes people are just too dim-witted to see what problems lie right in front of them. Dealing with the general monotony of all this crap. And here we are with shovels and a barrel.
She kind of chuckles at that comment. She goes, "You know what I've always wondered? Let me ask you, Doc. Why do they call it common sense when it's so fucking rare?"
What's common to me is not common to you.
Never thought of that perspective. I can respect that. But there's some common sense that, like, I swear, it's like there's fucking rocks in their heads.
I can agree with that to some degree.
You ever see someone shoot themselves because they look down their own fucking barrel?
You'd be surprised some of the shit I've seen out in the West.
Like, lets out a small chuckle and sigh as she'll, So what got you into these kind of activities besides trying to scramble someone's brains?
Well, I'm the only one left in my lineage. The rest of my family suffers from mental illness, suffering from dementia from earlier ages than what's normal. Some people just can't handle all the side effects of working in mines. So, I spend most of my time trying to figure out what's going on with there, and there's not really any schools that teach you any other like and back over there, so...
Yeah, you're a bit ahead of your time.
I figured that my expertise wasn't needed in that town. I saw myself coming over here. But some of the things that I saw in those mines...
Monstrous.
Souls that were angry and lost. And the sight of pure darkness, but you hear so much ringing in the ears. Feeling things from around the corner. Feeling your trigger finger itching just by even walking around. Some people will call you a coward for feeling such things, but I know what I saw. I know what I heard.
You know,
and I had to prove it for myself.
You know, people who talk like that, those wise guys, they've never done anything with their lives. But they'll call other people cowards. You know what me and my men dealt with? I think they called it a fucking skinwalker. Weirdest thing I've ever seen. We're in a warehouse. All legal business. There's a deer just looking at us in the fucking corner. And we're all just, flicking some cigarettes at it because, like, what the fuck is it doing here? And it just stands up on its back two hooves, and the slaughter, the amount of bullets it took. Anyone call me a coward, I'd beat the shit out of them.
Well, There's a lot to unpack here between us both. I'm sure we've got many stories that we can tell. As we continue going along here, I'd like to speak with everyone else individually, and I appreciate the time and the meal.
No problem. I'll cover it. She'll write down her room number and go, "Do you want to play cards?" And then taps her left vest pocket. You're welcome anytime.
I'll let you know when I have an inkling.
Bring a happy wallet. She smirks.
Gillis, you'll get a call at the hotel from Thomas. Gillis, I just wanted to pass along a message from Reginald. He just wanted to let you guys know that he was successful in setting up a meeting with Marion Allen's uncle, Edwin. Edwin said that he'd be happy to meet with you guys and discuss the sarcophagus and where he got it from at Small's Paradise in Harlem. Once you guys get into Harlem, let us know, or let him know, and then they'll formalize this specific time and date for meeting with him.
This is fantastic. Sorry. I'll inform the rest of the investigators tomorrow. We've had quite a day. Thank you.
All right. At this point, you guys have entered another developmental phase.
Cool.
So if you'd like to do any skill improvements, sanity restoral training, or working on a profession, I know for the profession it's going to be hard for anybody that works out of a specific spot at the moment. It's going to be about 2 weeks to get from Arnoldsburg back up into the northeast there, where into Harlem. And Gillis, you currently are the only one that has the information on it, but as you share during this downtime, we can go through that. So we'll kind of work in Discord order. So we'll start with Archibald. What do you would like to do? And I guess before we get into that, how long are you guys wanting to stay in Arnoldsburg before heading to Harlem?
Like 3 days.
I think 3 days is fine.
Okay. If that's the case, the the training stuff is off the table because that takes a minimum of 1 month. So you guys won't have enough time to do any training in any particular skills. For the skill improvement, anything that you currently have a checkbox in, feel free to roll skill improvements for that. So if you recall, roll the D100. If you roll higher than what that skill is currently, you get to roll a D10 and add that to the skill.
We do that for each of the checkmarked ones, or just one?
Each of the ones. Oh, I probably didn't have you wipe. Anything that you succeeded in during tonight's session, you check the box in, and then you get to do skill improvements for. And then we remove the check marks after this. If we reset.
Oh.
I totally
okay,
spaced on that from when we did our character creation and now, so I don't remember all of them that you succeeded in.
Yeah. So I only use the spot hidden and psychology.
Yeah.
And those are the only two.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah. So feel free to do those things, and we'll start with Archibald. For what you'd like to do during this three-day period, and then we'll go to the actual travel time, and we could do some RP there if we'd like. But you have the floor.
How many dice? Real quick, sorry.
You roll a D100. If you roll higher than your current percentage, you can roll a D10.
I see. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Don, earlier, did any of us gain sanity back, or was that just for certain characters?
1d6 for everybody because you interacted with Douglas in a actual civilized conversation.
Actual civilized conversation.
I was a little bit worried, so like, if you guys had actually started combat and killed him or made him unconscious, it could have gone very sideways.
Oh boy.
But for we said we have downtime for about 3 days.
Everybody agreed 3 days in Arnoldsburg before you'd start the trek trek up to Harlem.
Dude, I'm rolling so good right now.
For those 3 days, Archibald would probably just kind of check around town for any of his side gigs that he likes to do, or cat stuck in a tree type business.
Okay. Give me, because this isn't your normal sort of area, give me a luck roll to see if you pick up any PI sort of jobs out here.
You said luck,
Yep.
correct? Press that. What is it?
I add the result of that D10 to the total.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
15 for luck, and my luck's a 40.
Perfect. Yep. So you're able to find a couple jobs. It's a little bit more slower pace of life out here. So the type of stuff you're finding is more like locating some lost horses, which proves to not be too crazy. Give me a track roll to see how well you perform your PI stuff out here.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's already a fail. This is 72.
Once again, nothing bad happens. You're keeping the lights on. You found some work. It like I said, it's some of the more mundane stuff. So like, because it's the Midwest, they're not paying like super high, so you're not really getting any boons from finding jobs out here, but keeping the lights on. Are you wanting to do any sanity restoral sort of things while you're out here?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yes.
Okay, so if you recall, your options are interacting with something with your backstory, or you could meet with Gillis, or maybe Bently, based off of his background, to kind of do a therapy session. It'll go against their psychoanalysis, which it might be just Gillis, because I don't think Bently put anything into psychoanalysis.
Yeah, I have 1% in psychologist, but 99 in psychology.
Oh, damn.
So those are your options. If you remember, it's a 1d3 if you go the psychoanalysis therapy session with Gillis, or 1d6 if you do something off your backstory.
Archibald will kind of probably do something off his backstory. He'll probably kind of like focus on his grandfather's pocket watch, trying to like kind of ground himself and remind himself of who his grandfather was and why he even got into private investigating and hunting the paranormal to begin with.
Perfect. Give me a sanity roll.
Come on. Well,
12?
That's a good number. That's a good number. Yeah. 6.
Oh,
Nice.
holy hell. That's what... Is that extreme or is that just hard?
That is extreme.
Nice.
Oh, what does that mean?
Roll me a 1d6 and add 2.
Oh.
That would be... What fucking number is that? That would come out to a 6.
Perfect. Add that to your
Nice.
sanity. Is there anything else you're wanting to do during this 3-day time period?
No, that'll kind of tie it up for Archibald. Actually, he wants to have a kind of a private conversation with Bently.
Perfect.
Bentley is just He's taking a look at some antique shops, just seeing what people on this side of the country take value in.
And
Yeah, more or less just window shopping.
Bentley, while you're window shopping, you are like you'll notice that like Archibald has been following you around, like trying to be sneaky, but he's not being sneaky like at all. Periodically taking notes in his notepad.
Mm-hmm. What can I do you for?
He kind of like he's like he kind of like looks around playing off like he wasn't following you at all.
It's like, oh, you're here too.
Funny running out to you. Rather nice weather out here, don't you think?
Yeah, I suppose it's no different than the last couple of days.
So, detective, right?
I've jumped between job titles, but you could just say I have the same position as you.
Let me ask you something.
Shoot away.
What's the craziest thing you've ever seen? Anything close to this?
Well, to be honest, the things I've seen don't usually go as smoothly as that did. Don't usually just have to have a friendly conversation and steal some books to resolve a conflict, but hey. But it seems like I got the easy end of that stick. Well, you and, what was his name, Gilus?
Yeah,
Received?
Gilly boy.
For all that it's worth, I believe you.
You see Archibald, he kind of pulls out, he reaches into his jacket pocket and he pulls out a pocket watch and he opens it and kind of dangles it in front of your face. And you notice that through the middle of the glass is a crack and the pocket watch doesn't seem to be ticking. In fact, it's actually used to have the time it was stuck on, but it seems to be stuck in place at a specific time. You guys know what this is?
A broken pocket watch, but it seems like it may have some more sentimentality to it.
11:34 p.m. That's right. That's the time that it's trapped on. Although I guess on a watch you wouldn't know AM or PM, but it's on 11:34. He kind of goes over really quickly a story with you about how he got pocket watch, explaining that when he was a child, he lived with his grandparents and was convinced that the basement was haunted, and his grandfather, who was a non-believer, kind of always brushed that notion off. But when one night he decided to camp out in the basement to try to catch some kind of proof of whatever this was, and at 11:34, his grandfather came down to yell at him to go to bed, and some spectral thing rushed his grandfather, causing his grandfather to have a heart attack. And when he died at 11:34 p.m., the watch stopped and never ticked after that again. And it says, you see, I may be a little more emotionally invested in kind of stuff like this than the others, or most people. And I just want to make sure that I can rely on you, because I'm not going to stop until whatever is going on is resolved.
Well, everybody needs their own reason to keep on going, and if that's a pocket watch for you to keep your resolve as strong as I can, that's a good enough reason for me. Sound like a stand up enough guy. But as far as depending on me, I could understand yours being skeptical. But, well, to be honest, and I mean no harm by it, it seemed like I was the most capable one over there at the crypt.
Whoa! Listen,
Don't let Carmela hear that.
you don't know the things that I saw. What happened to us?
I'd very much like to know that.
And he looks you like in the eye with one eyebrow raised, and he goes, "Me too." Because to be quite honest, I'm not even really sure what happened.
All that I'll tell you, I do have some sentimentality to an item. Helps me keep my mind straight when I can't put things together, similar to your pocket watch. He'll pull out like this German style top, like spinning top.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
That's belonged to my late brother. You know, I told this story to Carmela over dinner the other night, but let's just say people with mental disorders did not get the proper treatment over there in the West, and this was his favorite toy. It doesn't do anything in particular, but there are some pictures that are drawn on the top, so when you spin the top, it's almost like the pictures move on their own.
He's kind of like baffled by it. He's like, they move on their own. That's pure magic, my friend.
I don't know. Whatever it is, it's that little bit of home that reminds me of what I'm fighting for.
Archibald seems like very like pleased with the conversation that you just had, and he reaches out to shake your hand again and grasp it really firmly, not as wildly as he did last time. This one would feel more like a proper handshake. And he says to you, "I'm glad to have you with us."
Well, if we're going over to Salem, it seems like we're going to need all the help that we can get. Glad to work with you, Archibald. Archibald
Archibald Whitley.
Whitley.
My badge.
I thought that was a joke before, but I can appreciate your dedication to the bit.
He goes, "Bet. No. This has got me into many places."
I may have to try it sometime.
He kind of like that. He acts like he's tipping like a hat to you, but he's not wearing a hat. He just kind of like does that motion.
I'll tip my hat in tow.
And you see him turn and like walk away from you, kind of like skipping a little bit, does like a little bellhop kick in the air, and then you see him just like duck down the side, like at the side of one of the buildings, and you see him just kind of like peer out at you as he pulls out his notebook again.
As the conversation ends, Bentley will just shoot a shot of spit over at a nearby jar or something.
He takes note of this.
Oh my god! It makes a little.
Yeah.
Spittoon.
Yeah.
Perfect. Just to clarify, it's Harlem in like New York, like the African American section of like New York, not Salem. But
okay, even still, I'll just act as if I knew that.
I saw your comment with which is like, ooh, maybe wrong direction, but okay.
Yeah, I didn't have the heart in the moment.
Bentley, what would you like to do during this three-day time period?
Shoot myself in the skull.
Oh my god!
Give me a firearms check.
No.
You actually misfire and you kill the misses in the other room.
Oh my god!
I'd like to go to either a silversmith or like a gun supply shop.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to try to see if I can procure some silver ammunition, if that's a thing.
Interesting.
Well, you'll find a smith shop. Yeah, it's more of a general store, so it's not not for guns specifically. It's just a little bit of everything. Um, they have ammunition, but creating silver bullets is a little bit out of the normal populace repertoire. Um, in fact, the shopkeeper kind of like looks at you bewildered because creating silver bullets seems so weird because of like as far as metal goes, it's too soft of a metal to be useful for typical ammunition.
I can understand that. Sorry for the complications. So I'm just going based off of like earliest knowledge that I have. Do they like at this point in time? Do they sell M80s at the general stores?
Let's defer
Yeah,
to Archibald, our 1920s
our in-house
1920s expert.
in-house, yeah. Like,
you said M80. Just a sec.
Like the firecracker?
Well, the tiny dynamite sticks.
I mean,
Let's see, Wikipedia.
they were originally made in the mid 20th century.
So not really.
Okay,
That would be like 1950s ish.
Yeah, because they weren't really they were made to simulate explosive or artillery fire for the U.S. military in simulation. So that let's see.
Yeah, it says cases of documented injuries and accidents are 1950s, 1960s.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll just pick up some like general like first aid supplies, whether that be like bandages or like antibiotics of any kind or whatever is available. I'll
Cocaine, technically.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you have no issues, and I don't think that would be anything too outside of like your normal daily spending sort of threshold. The other sort of options you got at this point is if you want to do any sanity, like improvement, restoral, interacting with like key backstory moments, or meeting with Gillis to do a therapy session. I don't think you took a whole lot of sanity damage. If in fact, I think you're above your starting sanity.
Yeah, I only took one, and I'm 5 above where I'm supposed to be.
So you could always increase if you want, but you don't need to. This is also an opportunity if you want to do like Archibald did and look for some PI work while you're still in town, or you could take the time off to kind of just relax and enjoy the town itself.
Why not? Let's have a therapy session with Gillis.
Okay.
Where can I find Gillis?
I'll just be in my room, and just like I did with Archibald, I'll pull out a set of 2 fancy whiskey glasses that I have, and I pour a very nice whiskey that was gifted to me. Oh no, it was bourbon. What was it?
It was premium whiskey.
It was whiskey. This was gifted to me by Carmela, and it is quite the sipper. I would give you that, and I'll just pour you a small glass. What is the topic you'd like to discuss?
Well,
If you sleep on your side, I bet you hate your pillow, and this is why.
let's talk about some of past traumas that I've dealt with in my past, in my previous life.
Oh, good. My specialty. And I'll swirl my glass, take a little sip, and I'll turn a new page in my little therapist yellow needle pad.
Could I have like stacked up on cigars as well?
Yeah,
at that shop.
Yeah, it's a general store, so they got a little bit of everything there.
Okay, I'll light up a cigar and light one in tow for you as well, Gillis. Sorry.
Do you just like want to talk about your brother, I guess, or something about the coal mine or whatever? Not that you need to repeat yourself for a third time.
No. Well, I had mentioned to you before, Gillis, that general practice of medicine and knowledge of any kind in that sense is not exactly what I'd call popular over in the West. You just survive, maintain range, and if you're not doing that, you're in the coal mines.
I will say that working closer to these more denser cities like New York, such as myself, you tend to find people more willing to consider therapeutic, what's the word I'm looking for? God damn it! They're more open to the idea, but even still, I too carry this heavy burden of living in a world where it seems that not the common man is too concerned about what's going on up in the little cranium there.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, you can't take care of your physical if you can't take care of your mental. But the thing I want to talk about, there were young lads, 12, 13, 14. Parents were out working and they had to have their keep. They didn't die in the coal mines and they died of symptoms of the mind. Whether their brains or bodies were worked too much to where they couldn't think of anything else. I saw many of children, lose themselves, lose their sanity, and have delusions of seeing things in those caves. I was sent out to, well, frankly, to beat the devil out of them. Those were only devilish thoughts that, if they were thinking those, and they were too far gone to begin with. They survived the encounter, then they'd be much better off. It wasn't until some promise to fix these mental ailments started surfacing. Procedures called lobotomies. These large devices just shoved into the brain to fix the crazy. And when that inevitably just makes them brain dead, either just having them killed off or live the rest of their life as a half-human. Things like that you can't unsee. And I struggle to deal with that. They haunt my dreams. The screams and those lost, hollowed looks.
And I just kind of squint and sort of like nod my head and just kind of validate like how horrific that is, and like I have heard of the like the practice itself, but never heard like a such a close story to it per se. But yeah, I guess we'll just spend like 90 minutes just hashing it out, I suppose.
Yep. Bentley, give me a D100 roll. We're going to compare that to Gillis's psychoanalysis.
I have a 70.
I have a 19.
Nice. So very good roll. I think that's just outside of the extreme success. So go ahead and roll a D3. So just roll a D6 and divide by 2, and then add 1 to that roll.
Brother, was that your roll or was that what you have in it?
No, I rolled a 19.
Oh, okay.
My extreme is 7 for sanity.
Oh, I just rolled a 6, so a 3.
I rolled a 1.
So
and
plus 1, so you'll get a 2 added to your sanity.
Okay.
Perfect.
I think that's all I really wanted to do.
Perfect. All right, Carmilla, what are you wanting to do during this 3-day period?
Carmilla is gonna report back to her boss. She's gonna make a phone call back to Maine, New York. And just report in where she's at. And she's gonna basically ask him if there's any speakeasies here, any places here for her to visit for people like her.
Well,
And she's saying this in a speakeasy way too. She's not like blatantly saying it on the phone.
well, you know, Carmilla, the Midwest really isn't our scene. We've got some contacts out there to bring in some good hooch, but we kind of stick away from it. I mean, I'm trying to think. You said you're out near Arnoldsburg.
Yeah, right as fuck up here.
Well,
Too dry for me.
it ain't so much it's dry. It's all homebrew. So you gotta know the right farmer, so to speak. There's one fella, Wyatt Templeton. I think he's just outside of town there, and obviously he ain't gonna make it well known that he's got anything like that. But I'm sure if you tell him old Lucky's sending you out that way, you should be able to get your hand on some.
I appreciate the information. I should be back in a few weeks, hopefully. Let the boss know I'm still working with the organization.
I am the boss, but yeah.
Oh, I thought I was talking to the lieutenant.
No, you're talking to Lucky Luciano.
Okay, cool.
Lucky Luciano.
She'll tell Lucky a bit about what happened.
Well, you know, things ain't been the same since that encounter, so it's hard to tell what's real and what ain't these times of day. You said you guys are coming out to Small's Paradise?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we don't do a whole lot over in Harlem, but that joint's pretty poppin'. It's they typically got the jazz, some real good food, and one of the easiest to get your hands on some good hooch. It's also one of the few joints up here. Let's be honest, it's the only joint that ain't really doing the whole segregation thing. So keep in mind, I don't know who all's in your party, but if they ain't white, they might run into some issues up here. But Small's Paradise should be one of the few that anybody can get in as long as they, look the part. It's a high-end joint, so y'all need to make sure you got some high-end clothing before you head up there.
She writes down the information to the farm and to that location. I appreciate it, Lucky. Thank you. If there's any work you need me to do in Harlem, I'm always gonna put some time for us.
Yeah, well, we'll keep our ears to the ground. You said it was Edwin Allen. We'll look into him too to kind of see what's all that about too.
I appreciate it. Thank you. She's gonna hang up. And the first place she's actually gonna visit is the general store.
Okay.
Now, how wild was a general store in the 1920s exactly?
What do you mean wild?
Like, did they have like? Well, did they? So it sounds like they have firearms. Did they have like dynamite or gunpowder or?
They'd have kind of anything to kind of like be successful in the town. I would say this one in particular probably isn't carrying really much dynamite because it's not really the type of thing there. Like it's livestock and like farming is the main source of income, so there's no real reason to carry dynamite. That would be a little bit more like where Bentley's from, where working in mines and that type of thing.
She's gonna buy. They had cans back in the 1920s, right?
You said cans?
Yeah, cans.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. So that's like why wasn't botulism super hot or something, or is that later?
I don't remember, but I mean, we talked about Red Jake having a can of pork and beans, so
Yeah.
he's gonna buy like 5 empty cans. She's gonna also buy some like actual like canned beans, just some rations, and then she's gonna buy nails and flour.
okay. So you're easily able to get those items. Uh, it's not like today where they put two and two together of like the combination of shit you're buying could be super deadly. Uh, the is there anything else you're wanting to do?
Nope. After she buys some canned goods and all of that, she'll probably go back to her room. She's sipping on her alcohol, and she's gonna make about 5 nail bombs.
Alrighty. After that, we'll swing over to Gillis. What are you doing during the 3 days?
Sorry, just put a pretzel in my mouth. Okay. I think just so it's clear, I don't know if I ever officially said it for the record, but I shared the information of the phone call I got, obviously. But I'm going to start off by the first day. I'm just gonna do a nice heavy binge. I'm trying to like sit like not just blast through this bottle that was given to me. So I'm trying to like pace myself, but I did a real good steep the first day. The second day, I want to go back up towards the Temple residence, and if Violet isn't busy, kind of maybe go through the graveyard once more and just get like not necessarily to improve my skill per se, but just to get some tasteful shots of the cemetery and maybe just kind of bullshit, take a little walkabout.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a photography roll. It won't necessarily be for skill improvement, but an opportunity to get a checkbox in it.
Okay. Violet, you down for a little bit of a graveyard walkabout?
Yep, that's fine with me.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess we'll just, I'll make a check real quick. Oh, not good. That's a fail. Yeah, that's a fail.
Yeah. So whether it be the trauma that you guys suffered in the cemetery, or what, it's one of those. It's kind of like how like sometimes you get the disposable camera and you just start clicking and
Right.
you finally go in development and you realize they're all shit like angles and like you're like, I don't even know what this gravestone is. It's just a random ass fucking picture in the pile. That's how some of the photos are. Is like they're there. You've got pictures of the cemetery, but it doesn't seem
Not
to
the
be
best.
coherent in like what your approach was, and a lot of it is like poor angles and lighting.
Okay. And just like while we spend some time walking around, I'll just be like, so Violet, um, I know it seems, honestly, out of all of us in the group, excluding Carmela, because I feel like it's a little bit different, you seem to be the only one that's really, like, comfortable with all this horrifying things that we're seeing. And I guess I'm just curious. What do you make of your cousin being a fucking whatever the hell that was? Like, did you? Were you guys close? Like, is this? You know, because I imagine you're going to write about it in a book somehow. Like, how could you not? Well, I guess you can't because promised you wouldn't let Thomas know. But I don't know.
So the entire time we were walking through the cemetery, Violet's writing in her book, and she looks up and she's like, well, of course I'm going to write a book about it. And what I think of him being whatever he is, it's a little weird, but since I'm used to these kind of things, it doesn't really faze me too awfully much.
Peculiar mind you have, Violet. Peculiar indeed. I think saying weird puts it a little lightly, but yes, it's very weird.
That's just a little weird for me. No, it's not that weird.
Yeah, I guess maybe we'll enjoy some tea after that. And beyond that, I'll just the third day, I'll write another mock letter to Amelia, and just to kind of like work on my sanity a little bit. This time it's going to be kind of like I'm going to kind of mention this sort of like hallucination type dream I had and the possible danger I'm in, and lots of hugs and kisses, all that stuff.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a sanity roll.
Oh my god.
These are your favorite rolls.
I had a 63, needed to, and I rolled a 60, so.
Perfect. So you passed?
No. Oh, yes, I did pass. Sorry, I was thinking in reverse.
Okay, go ahead and roll a d6 and add that.
3.
Perfect. All right.
Perfect.
Swing it over to Violet. Outside of working on your book, is there anything else you would like to do during this 3-day period? If you'd like, you can also make a literature roll to see if you increase on your credit rating since you're actively working on your book.
We'll make the literature roll. Rolled a 23.
Ooh, nice. Is that regular, hard, or extreme?
The middle one, I think.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a 1d10 plus 1.
Wow.
That would be an 8.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
Yeah, so it kind of like we talked about last time when we did our profession roll.
You're on a fucking roll.
You've got a lot of really good material to add to your series going. It's kind of one of those, everybody's taking these as fiction, but it kind of works in your favor because they're kind of into this drama, detective, horror sort of vibe that you've got going on with your book series here. So you can go ahead and add that to your credit rating. Is there anything else you want to do during this 3-day period?
Oh no, just really gonna relax and then work on my book.
Perfect. As the 3 days kind of come to a close, you guys have all had a chance to kind of decompress from what you've experienced. For some of you, this was a little bit more jarring than what you originally anticipated. specifically Gillis and Archibald, you're finding yourself still kind of trying to piece together what exactly happened, because when you talk to everybody else that had blacked out, there seems to be nothing that they experienced. So in their minds, you guys blacked out and then woke up to Bentley, whereas uh, Violet's, you seem to be coping pretty well, whether it's just your books seem to have already dealt with this and you've kind of dove in and accepted what's happening. And Bentley, you kind of got there a little bit late. Carmilla, this actually took a major toll, and you're trying to play it off as it's not affecting you in any regard. So it, you're still trying to piece together what exactly happened, who was talking to you during your sort of encounter, because you know it wasn't uh, what is it? Pretty Pete? No, something like that. Fuck.
Pretty Mike.
Pretty Mike. You know it's not Pretty Mike that was really there, and what they're referencing about having information didn't seem to add up. So you haven't divin in to the rest of the investigators to figure out what they're referencing. Because as far as I'm aware, no one's filled you in on the Jin 100%. And since you played it off like nothing happened to you, they haven't opened up either. But you guys all meet up to start making the trip out to Harlem. And that is where we're going to end for tonight.
Oh, man. Harlem, everybody. Wow.